boy. All right. Excuse the mishaps and all that good stuff. All right. Hmm, okay. Going into week two. Well, we already are in week two, and we're gonna start playing catch up. The first week and a half is really like kind of, by my honest opinion, the boring stuff. It's the stuff that you can get anywhere. Figuring out what the properties are outside of books and manuals. It's really going to be the research. Just being honest with you, I know a lot of people think that there's a whole science to it, and while at the end of the day it is, because you have to actually physically get up and do some Google research, plus look in some books, and plus figuring out what they do to or do for you, I should say. What we're going to get on today is colors and gemstones, because that's the forefront of getting into chakras and chakra balancing. And that's where like the meat of the course is right there. So next week when we're gonna start breaking out the pendulum and start playing around in energy. Um, so just to go down the format again, I posted, and what I'm gonna keep doing is I'm posting the links from the previous classes. So that way there is already a video in there, something to kind of keep you busy in the meantime of me trying to get my little hectic schedule back in the line. So you are watching some older videos, which is pretty much the same stuff. If you notice me say something that is a discrepancy versus the older one, call me out on it, because sometimes things change or sometimes perspectives change. But in the end of the day, it's really pretty much all the same stuff. So going off of the color and gemstones document that's attached, that I put in there earlier today, red is going to be the first color we're going to deal with. Red is the color of blood, birth, and death. In many cultures, it has been considered sacred and is dedicated to the deities. Red stones are projective and active. And here is a red tiger's eye. And again, red runs across a whole gamut of different stones. Pretty much all red stones will carry the same abilities, and then you'll find some of them that will have opposite effects on them. You just have to do your research. One stone will tell you it's good for this, another stone will tell you it's bad for it. Take it with a grain of salt. They are related to the planet Mars and the element of fire, both aggressive energies. These are projective, protective stones, and they work to strengthen the body and willpower. Red stones are used to promote courage, to lend energy to the body, and to provide additional power to rituals by their presence on the altar. The color red in pretty much all forms of magic is attributed to power. So it ain't just with gemstones. And a lot of this stuff you're going to find that the color that you would use for a candle almost always correlates to the color that you're going to use for gemstones. Color is a very significant source of power. You can attribute a lot of things to color. In ancient times, red stones were worn as antidotes to poison, to keep one's thoughts pure, and by drawing out the cause, to banish anger and all violent emotions. Violent emotions. They were also used as a guard against fire and lightning. In healing, red stones are intimately linked with blood. They are often worn to relieve anemia, to halt bleeding, and to heal wounds. They also seem to work on rashes and inflammation. Um, Got to do some work on these with a red stone in just a few minutes. I just caught that. Perhaps in association with its blood links, red stones were once carried to prevent miscarriage. Red stones can be empowered and used to overcome sexual dysfunctions, usually by placing the stone near or on the genitals while visualizing. And that gets into like your laying on stone stuff that we're gonna be doing. A lot of these gemstones, the lore, the science, the stigmata, whatever you want to call it, is if you place that stone near the source of the discomfort, disease, condition, whatever you want to call it, then you're giving the stone a chance to vibrate to that area to increase your body's already internal vibrations to stimulate health or to stimulate healing. So red, power, blood, but also heart. Of course, because the heart is the biggest muscle and it pumps blood. So red can also be associated with heart just as well as green. And we'll get to that later. The second color we're going to deal with is pink, which is basically a derivative of red on some level. Pink stones are receptive, packed with loving vibrations. They are calming, soothing, and are used to de-stress or relax the physical body as well as the mind. Sometimes thought to be ruled by Venus, although green is more of Venus's color. But you associate Venus with love, so henceforth, pink, love, we kind of give it up to Venus. Pink stones are used to attract love or to strengthen love already present. They may work to smooth over difficulties in long-standing relationships. Again, everything that I'm saying, you already know. Take it with a grain of salt. It's really is visualization and intention. You can ask the stone to assist you with fixing something that's already broke, and in some cases, it may trick your mind enough to allow your willpower to assist in something. You might bow down to something that you was resistance to, but you cannot. And like I was saying in the first week, where people got in trouble with stones, where they were thinking that the stones were the end all be all, and you still see that in a lot of people's posts today, or a lot of activities of people today, is where they don't do anything unless they consult the stones or consult the herbs or consult the candles, so on and so forth. So the stones still get a bum rap where people place too much faith in them and not a faith in themselves. So getting back on the pink, pink stones promote peace, happiness, joy, and laughter. They're also worn for self love, and self love is not narcissism, so we're not gonna go there. They stimulate the higher emotions, and they help attract friends and encourage openness towards others. That last part, they help attract friends. When you have a pink stone on, and this has been proven firsthand, and some of my clients, I always had problems out of them. If you give them too many pink stones, especially rose quartz, if you increase their vibration enough with that pink loving energy, it does have the tendency to produce stalkers. I have seen it on people who already have a stalker type energy, to where they're just very alluring. This stone can increase your allurement levels right there, to where now people just become enamored with you and they can't control themselves because all they see is your pink energy coming off of you. Some stones will adjust your vibration. They will adjust your aura. I was just doing it last night. Not to get too far off subject. I was at this little study session that I run every other Friday, and I was holding a selenite. One of the guys in the group has a gift. He can see auras in different functions off of everything. So I was holding a selenite, and all of a sudden he saw like a smoggy folk come off, a foggy smoke come off of the selenite and just start shooting up in the air. Well, as soon as I grabbed another stone, which I grabbed a garnet, the foggy smoke ran to the garnet because it was amplifying it. But then as soon as I grabbed the petrified wood, it shut it all down. So some stones will amplify your aura, and it will adjust the colors of everything around you, and you'll have to find a counter stone to shut it down. Or if you're trying to increase it, you'll have to find a complement stone to make it get more hyper. So in that case, garnet and amethyst were only hyping up selenite, whereas petrified wood shut it all the way down. So you'd have to find a grounder, like say for example, petrified wood or black tourmaline or obsidian or onyx. If you're having too much of a good vibration going on and you need to calm it down, you might have to ground it out with a heavy stone, a black stone or a brown stone, and we'll get into those in a little bit. So going from there, we go into orange stones. Orange stones such as carnelian, and carnelian is you can see the band in it. While it's not necessarily an agate, it's a form of quartz too. It's very close to the agate family. Orange stones have some of the fire of red, but are gentler in their effects. Projective, they have often been seen as symbols of the sun. They are ideal in use in protective rituals and those designed to promote illumination. I use orange for abundance. Orange is color of success. It's my favorite color too. I got on orange. So I always use orange when I'm doing abundance rituals or success rituals or prosperity. They are ideal for use in protective rituals and those designed to promote illumination. These stones are related to personal power. Wearing one will enhance your ability to tap in and direct this energy during magical rites. Like say for example with orange, as far as carnelian is an ancestor stone. In my practice, it is anyway. And if you go back into Kemetic times, they used to bury the dead with carnelian because it was believed to give them enough courage to make the journey into the afterlife. So if you give it to your dead so that they can continue on, ancestor stone. My thinking anyway. They're excellent to wear for those people with low self-esteem, and they expand your awareness of self-worth. Orange stones are thought to be luck attracting and are symbols of success, as previously stated. They are worn during spells to assure a positive outcome. So that's orange. Then you get into yellow. And if you'll notice, we're just going Roy G. Biv. R for red, O for orange, Y for yellow. G for green, B for blue, I for indigo, V for violet. And then you can add a bunch of other different things in there. In case I didn't get into it, which I'm pretty sure I didn't, Clear quartz or quartz in general is a substitute for almost any other stone, but there's dangers with that because clear quartz is a amplifier and a receiver. So you have to make sure that you have proper intention set on that stone before you use it as a replacement for something because you could be bringing in what you're trying to push out. You have to make sure you understand the use of a quartz before you put it in the wrong position. Going into yellow, and this is a calcite, yellow calcite. I'm sorry, yellow. Yellow stones are minerals. Yellow stones and minerals are projective. They're ruled by Mercury. They are used in rituals involving communication. If you have trouble expressing yourself in an intelligible way, try wearing a yellow stone. They're good for writers. They're good for public speakers. Anybody who needs eloquence. They're also ruled by the sun. Yellowstones are protective, and while the element of air is also its ruler, which again goes into Mercury. Mercury's a messenger, air spirits. They tell us that they can be used to strengthen the conscious mind. They are worn during magic to heighten visualization abilities. You use yellow for like workings that deal with travel. Um, what was it? Okay, if you hold a yellow stone in your projective hand, which is your dominant hand, like I'm left-handed, so that's my dominant hand. If you hold it in that hand while you're doing any kind of magical work, it will um it will help get you to your desired location quicker. In other words, it enhances whatever workings. It gives your visualization a little bit more oomph to it. So if you're having problems speaking, hold a yellow stone in your hand, and it should start to level off. Health wise, yellow stones are used to promote digestion. They also use to regulate the nervous system and for skin problems. These are stones of movement, of exchange, of energy, and of mental awareness. So that's your yellow. Then you go into green. And this is a funny shade of green. This is actually an aquamarine, but it's kind of like a light green. And then you have your um, darker green. And this is actually green obsidian, but this is not true obsidian. This is man made obsidian. It's cut glass that has been infused with obsidian like properties. And so it's actually high vibrational. It really has a lot of vibration higher than a lot of other stones, but it's not a true stone. It's a man made stone. So green come in many different shades. Got aquamarine, which is natural, Gaia stone or green obsidian, which is not natural. Then you also have Moldavite. Moldavite is a meteorite. It is a actual extraterrestrial stone. The you can tell when you got a real one. Like right now, it's making my finger tingle a little bit. And then if you hold Moldavite too close to you, if you're energy sensitive, it'll either make your teeth chatter or it'll make your hair stand up. Um, you can hold it in your receiving hand, and you'll be able to tell whether you're getting it because you'll start getting all kind of bumps and jumps and shit all over your hand and all up your body, already getting it. The bigger the piece, the more the effect. They have flooded the market with a lot of green cut glass, and now they're even using green calcite. Remember, this is how that yellow calcite look. They're using a lot of green calcite, and they're calling it moldavite just by chipping it into little pieces. This piece right here is like $11. That's about standard for a moldavite. If you get a big ass piece of moldavite like this and they telling you it's $10, unless you got somebody who don't know what they have, it's not moldavite. And you can trick your body into pushing off vibrations just by saying, ooh, moldavite. But if you hold that bad boy and you ain't paying attention and the back of your head feel like it's blowing open or your arm starts tingling and jolting, 9 times out of 10, unless you have a sensitivity to moldavite, you're not holding moldavite. Enough rambling about that. Green, the color of nature, fertility, of life. It's also linked with red in different things of religion. Hey there, how you doing? Oh my goodness, that means that I have my class video on public. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and let it ride this time. This is supposed to be private, but come on in here. I'm doing a class on gemstone colors. It was supposed to have been for the course. I forgot to switch it to unlisted, so no coincidences, no purpose. I mean no mistakes. So we'll run with it. So going on with green. Green is they're receptive stones, and again, like I was saying, they're linked with red. So in religion, in magic, you can it's cool. So when you were dealing with the heart, such as like with green, you could also use the red for the heart. But green nowadays is really the primary color that you're going to use for the heart, as far as the heart chakra and anything as far as fertility. A warning about green: if you're using green energy, say you're dealing with somebody with cancer, you kind of want to keep green stones or green energy away from them unless you have specific knowledge of how to use it. Because if green is for growth, you can grow a cancer by sending somebody green energy. So what you want to do, in my professional experience, is you want to use a brown. You want to use something that is more grounding out of the energy. So just a little side note: if you're using green stones or green energy to deal with somebody who has cancers or cancerous type conditions, stay away from green because you may increase what they already got going on. Let me see. They're used in healing magic, perhaps by surrounding a green or blue candle with the gems, lighting the candle, and then visualizing the sick person as a vibrant, totally healed person. And that's fine. I mean, you could do that. You can play mental magic, but again, if you don't understand the higher components of the effects of colors, stay out of it. Just stick with generic white light or gold. Gold is almost always safe. There's people with hangups on white light because they think it's stigmata through colonization or whatever. There is some very good energy in pure white light if you can pump the vibration the right way. But if you do have hangups on color, stick with gold or rainbow. Just monitor your use. So getting back on the green. Green can be carried or worn to guard the health. Specifically, green stones are thought to strengthen the eyes, control the kidneys, relieve stomach problems, and prevent migraines. They're ruled by Venus. Green stones are worn during gardening to promote luxurious growth, and they're placed in the earth for this purpose. You can get a lot of good growth out of green stones in a plant. Almost any stone is real good, but again, the fertility component of the green ray really does help with a lot of plants. Their association with the element of earth also leads to their use in spells involving money, riches, prosperity, and luck. And yeah, in almost every prosperity work you see most people do, there is a green component to it. Like I said earlier, I always use green and I use orange. I use orange for the success and abundance component, and I use green for the fertility and growth component. Green stones are grounding and they're also balancing, and they're used to get a higher sense of attunement with the earth. So that was green. And remember, I said about the Moldavite. Watch out for that. Going into the next color, we're going to do blue. Blue comes in various different shades. You can have your light blue. You can have your darker blues, which are getting along the way of indigo. You can have some stones, which, like this, is aqua obsidian. Again, it's almost like the green obsidian. It is like the green obsidian. It's a cut glass infused with obsidian-like properties. So this is like aqua water blue. So you got three shades of blue right here. They're all blues. This will come in a little bit later on, but this is a K2 stone. It has a darker blue in it. The primary energy that you're going to get out of this stone, that's cavensite that's in there, is you're going to call the blue on more than you are that quartz base that it's in, granite base. So blue the color of the ocean, and it's also the color of sleep and of twilight. It's ruled by the element of water and by the planet Neptune. They're receptive stones that promote peace. Holding a blue stone or gazing at it by a soft light calms the emotions. If you have difficulty sleeping, try wearing blue stones to bed. This is also excellent for healing nightmares. A lot of people nowadays will tend to use amethyst as a nightmare deterrent. I personally have not had that much success with blue stones, although I do take that back. I take that back because I wear a lapis 24 hours a day, and lapis is highly protective. Other blue stones, no disrespect to them, I'm not gonna sit there and say that they are really designed for nightmare. But again, everything is case by case. What people have researched and found for themselves to work, you can't discount. I do know for a fact, sleeping with a demortierite, sometimes called blue quartz, but it's not necessarily blue quartz. Demortierite, when you sleep with it, will kind of give you some, I ain't gonna say prophetic dreams, but it will give you some psychic level dreams. And for a few people that I've personally bought them for, it helps to unlock their gifts. It kind of is like a psychic activator as well as a dream enhancer. So I'm not gonna say it's gonna get rid of your nightmares. As far as nightmares, I just saw that orb go in front of my face. I don't know if you saw it, Ken. As far as nightmares, thank you, sir. Not as far as nightmares, amethyst is pretty good. Black tourmaline. Some people say a combination of amethyst, selenite, and black tourmaline is a nightmare deterrent. For some people, selenite is an enhancer and not a sealer. So, trial by trial, case by case. Take it with a grain of salt. Don't get hung up on anything. As I've been telling everybody from the class, that when you're doing research, don't just stop at the first website that tells you what that stone can do. Don't just stop at the first book that tells you what that stone can do. Go in there and go to 2 or 3 different sites, find 2 or 3 different books, and pick out what resonates versus what just feel like it's just some new age bullshit, just to be honest with you, or some ancient old age stigmata and superstition. You know, if you're looking at something and they're telling you that the documentation is from 1480, times have changed. Times have changed, so you have to make the adjustment for time, but you also have to apply common sense. Some things are the test of time, and you just don't mess with it, just like some stuff is just really from that time, and you don't need to mess with it. Case by case, let your intuition and resonance be the key when you're dealing with anything with gemstones. So, getting back into blue, blue stones are worn to promote healing in general and specifically to reduce fevers, remove ulcers, and their causes. They're also good for eliminating inflammations. True. Now, that part I will personally condone because lapis can knock out almost a lot of your pain components if you intend it the right way. Um, they're sometimes held to reduce or remove pain from the body, as stated. You can hold a lapis in your receptive hand, and you can feel the vibrations that will kind of like chase down wherever you got an ailment. Um, if you feel in the need of purification, wear blue stones, perhaps while bathing, to purify your inner being as well as your outer flesh. This is often done prior to a magical ritual. So, with lapis being like the stone of communication, you can bathe either with the lapis in the water or you could have the lapis around the water, like say with blue candles, and you can pretty much go into magical consecration. You can consecrate yourself before you get ready to actually do your magical work. So, boom. Okay, going after blue, we coming into purple. And purple comes in all many different shades. Now, just to back up, with the blues, the indigos kind of roll in with the blues, but they also can bite into a little bit of the purples. So take them with a grain of salt. But indigo is more of a blue than it is a purple. But you will find certain stones. I don't really have one right here in front of me. I got one in the grid. Can't touch it. Um, there are some of them that go deep. Okay, I can do this. Like this malachite azurite. That azurite is that deep dark blue, which is really a indigo, and then you'll see a powder blue, which is chrysocolla. This is a combination stone because all 3 of them come from the same element, which is basically copper. It just goes through different phases and kicks out different stones all in one. So that dark blue right there, the azurite, it's more of a blue, but you can on some level see where it could pick up a purple hue. Honestly, I would just stick with the blue though. So purple stones such as amethyst. You also have this mystical merlinite, or also known as indigo gabbro. It has a lot of purple in it, but it has more black too. But we'll stick with this amethyst. Um, Amethyst, well, purple stones are indigo colored and they're receptive. See that it went right there and contradicted me. I'm not going to do that. Stick with the purple, stick with the blue as far as your indigo. You can slide some of the indigo over to purple, but stick with blue primary. Purple stones are ruled by Jupiter and Neptune, and they have long been associated with mysticism and purification. These are excellent stones to wear for meditation, psychic work, or during any ritual designed to contact the subconscious mind. Yeah, because with amethyst, you can pretty much establish a kind of a psychic shielding around yourself. There are stones that possibly could be stronger, but as a base, amethyst is a good shielder. A good use of an amethyst is put amethyst chips in each one of your windows with like a bay leaf, and you pretty much can ward off your home from much stuff, especially adding that bay leaf to that amethyst. It'll either seal in what's already here, and kind of encourage it to behave, or it will keep out what's trying to get in. Let me see. As with green and blue stones, purple is the color of healing and peace. But purple more so is the color of spirituality. It's a color for higher energy. Like if you notice when I do my candles on the grids, even though they're white candles, you'll carry a purple flame that comes around them because I'm summoning or bringing in or acquiescing higher energy that's already present. Sorry about that. All right, so with purple, let me see. You can. I like this part because it's true right here. These stones are worn to maintain health, and they are sometimes given to unruly children to promote obedience. You can get a amethyst for a child that is like having a temper tantrum, as long as he won't hurt himself or throw the stone at you. If you can convince them to wear it for a little while, like say 15 minutes, you may notice that their vibrations balance out. Not going to work with all children. Some children are natural shields and they just don't care what the hell you give them. They just need to learn to work through their energy. But sometimes an amethyst will calm them down. Not to get too far off topic, what I would advise instead of an amethyst would be something like an ocean jasper. Ocean jasper has a bunch of circles in it, and those circles suck up energy. So versus just this trying to raise the vibration of the being itself to get to a calm state, the ocean jasper will suck in the energy into the circles, almost like the oceans will suck you in and drown you out. It ain't gonna drown the child though, but it'll take their energy. Um, they are used to help with headaches, mental illness, concussions, hair problems. They use purple stones for depression and to help with restful sleep. Like I was saying, you can sleep on an amethyst or you can wear an amethyst and sometimes get peaceful rest. Later on in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing gemstone elixirs. Amethyst is, one of the common ones that people make a gemstone elixir out of, which is basically taking the stone after it's cleansed and putting it directly in the water and drinking it from the water source. It will increase the vibrations of the water, and even if you want to go as far as saying it's placebo, it is proven to help you give rest. Been using it for years. It gets too erratic in here. I'll take a bunch of gemstones and make a pitcher of water and watch it disappear and watch it get quiet in the house too. So some stuff ain't fuckery. Just put it like that. Um, they help relieve depression, produce restful sleep when worn at night. Purple stones are associated with organized religion and they're earth-oriented systems, and they're worn to contact higher forces. I mean, that's why you'll notice, especially around April, when you get around the Easter time, they'll put the royal purple cloth off to represent Jesus coming back in resurrection, because purple is a color of higher ascension. So um, it bleeds over into all walks of life. So purple is a power color. After purple, you go into white. White comes in many different shades. Like you can have your clear quartz white. This is rutilated quartz. You got opalite, which is kind of like a translucent white. Just any color. You can have the milkies. You can have the clears. As long as you can look at it and tell that it's white, then you could do that. Like for example, my pendulum. This is a Lemurian quartz. Even though it's clear, this is the white color that they're talking about right there. Um, White stones are receptive and they're ruled by the moon. As such, they are intimately linked with sleep and psychism. So anything that you're dealing with as far as psychic level work, you can use your whites for. In the past, white stones, especially chalcedony, were worn to promote lactation by mothers that was having trouble feeding their babies. Um, in contemporary America, these are considered to be lucky stones, often carried in a pocket or worn to promote good fortune. Again, you can't get hung up on the stigmata and the lower overt racial overtones of white being right. Don't do it. Don't do that to the stones. Trust your resonance. Just trust your resonance. Again, everything has its stigmata and its fuckery tied to it, but don't eat no more of it than what you should be eating. Don't worry about feeling like you promoting one color over the other. If it vibrates or if it resonates for you, run with it. If it don't mess with it. Um, Let me see. To be rid of a headache, carry a white stone in your pocket. Conditional. Didn't always work for me. I suffer from migraines. Well, I suffered from migraines. I don't really have them that much anymore because I learned to control my own energy with or without a stone. White stones didn't really give me that much of a gain. But for example, with this rutilated quartz that has rutile means gold hair. It has these little gold hair filaments in it. It's a energizer stone, so it will help increase your energy. Um, so the lore stigmata is if you carry one of these stones and you're tired, the bigger the stone or the more gold filaments in it, the more energized you can get from carrying it. So kind of like that little lore there. Because the moon glows at night, her stones are used for protection after dark. So you can carry a white stone after dark, and it's supposed to keep you low level invincible from being attacked. So it stops you from getting mugged and all these other little functions like that. That's again more stigmata and folklore, but what you believe in can become your reality. So don't discount it and don't knock it until you try it. Um, one of the things that some people will say is that because white stones contain all colors, they try to say white contains all colors, that they can magically be charged as a substitute for all other stones. And that's what I was saying earlier about with the almost like say in the herbal world, they'll say rosemary is a substitute for any other herb. It's conditional. You can't substitute rosemary for daffodil. Daffodil's a poison. You can't substitute it for devil's purse or anything like that. You can't do that for everything, but it makes you feel good to think that you can. Same thing in the gemstone realm. You can put that crystal there. You can put that white crystal there in the place of that brown crystal that you might be missing. And while you can mentally trick yourself into amplifying that stone into a replacement, that requires magical work and magical focus. It does not just say, oh, missing the blue stone, here's a crystal, pow, take its place. No, you will have to actually practice a little level of manipulation, of actually energetic manipulation skills. You cannot just put a stone there and say, do your job. Won't work that way. And then the other side of that, what I was saying too, is with quartz being an amplifier and a receiver, if you are trying to diffuse a situation and you just place the stone there without specifying, you can mess up the whole mix of all the other stones around it. So you have to have a sense of knowledge of what you're doing and a sense of control over your own energy. So don't fool yourself. Some workers say the white stones, but I already said that. They act as a substitute for all of the stones, any color through visualization. All right, so don't get caught up on that. Next stones we're gonna deal with is black, and like this is black tourmaline. Black tourmaline, also known as schorl, Schorl, with the little dots over the O. It's actually a stone that has a charge. It has a piezoelectric effect, and we'll learn piezoelectric effect here in the next few days once we start messing around in chakras. Black stones are receptive. They represent the earth and stability and are ruled by Saturn, the planet of restriction. whole class there. I ain't doing that. Black stones are symbolic of self-control. They're good for resilience and for quiet power. They are sometimes viewed as protective. I mean, as protective, but black stones are often used as a ground, which still, in a sense, is you can use them for protection, but they're more of a diffuser. So you're going to ground the energy out. But there are some of them that will aurically increase your field. Um, if you're lightheaded or dizzy, or you focus on the spiritual life that's suffering, you can wear black stones. Now, one thing I will say from personal experience is be careful wearing, in particular, black tourmaline. If you keep black tourmaline above the heart, black tourmaline is generally a heavy grounder. With all these shifts we got going on, for a lot of people, it's not as heavy anymore because it's requiring, say, something on the level of shungite or even petrified wood has gotten a promotion in my experience. Not any disrespect to black tourmaline, but where we're at now, black tourmaline is not holding as much energy as it used to, but it will still suck the energy in. So when you're grounding, or if you're wearing a black tourmaline, you're actually grounding. When you're grounding, the energy is getting sucked into the stone. So if you're trying to ground, if you're sucking the energy from your heart up into the stone, it's kind of like a confusing. Your ground should go down towards the ground like an anchor. So if you're wearing your grounding stone up too high, you're not only grounding your higher chakras, you're uprooting your lower chakras. And for some people, that's disconcerting and it causes you to get sick. So if you just feel lethargic or if you just get dizzy and nauseous and you're wearing a black tourmaline earrings or a necklace, try taking that off and see if you don't get balanced. Or try just taking a necklace and putting it by your feet and let it pull the energy down into the stone. So sometimes you can't wear black stones above the heart because of the grounding effect. It's going to ground to wherever the stone's at. You don't ground your chakras above your heart. You ground your heart below. So be careful with messing with heavy grounding stones such as black tourmaline, wearing them above the heart. Could cause problems. Mystically, black is the color of the outer spaces. It is the color of the absence of light. If you wish to perform a spell of magical invisibility, and this is situational, ensure that your actions would not be noticed by others. Use a black stone for this purpose. Now, again, with me personally, I call black tourmaline the silencer. I will put it in the corner of each room if I feel like there's too much noise, spiritual noise. I will put it either on the table or if there's too much noise in the corner behind me, I'll set the stone in that corner. Keep it silent. If you are in a home where there's a lot of arguing, try putting that stone somewhere inconspicuous or on the center of the table. If you got like a bowl of fruit, put it in there with the bowl of fruit. And if that's where everybody argue at, give it a few days and see if it changes the location. They no longer can argue in the presence of this stone. Um, Case by case, I've seen the stone let stuff still come through, but it couldn't speak. Stuff was there, but it was silenced. It was too much energy being sucked into here to where they could still emanate into this realm, but they couldn't speak. So, case by case. Place. No, I'm not gonna do that spell. You don't need to worry about that. Yeah, I'll do it. For example, make a small. Let me see. Let me see where I'm gonna do with this. Actions be. Make a small image of yourself out of black clay, and adorn the image with black stones. Place that in a black box, one made of mirrors, and then put the box in a dark place. This simply hides you from others if they represent a threat to your life. But I don't do fear magic, so I'm just saying if you knew you was in a war with somebody and you actively know somebody is throwing at you, then you can make a puppet of yourself and put it with black stones, intent them to be you being magically shielded from everybody else's point of view. And then you can put you in a box of mirrors and seal yourself off while you still do what you do. So you can, we call that a coffin spell for others when we are intending to bury them, so to speak. You can shield yourself in the same fashion. It's all intention. It's all intention and visualization. That's 95% of the damn game. So do what you do. After you get out of black, you got multicolored stones. Um, like, for example, this is a septarian nodule. The dark red part is aragonite. The brown part, I believe, is cacoxenite. And then you got some other red little pieces in here. It starts getting into different forms of tiger's eyes and quartz and all that stuff. Tiger's eye is nothing but another form of quartz, too. So you got multicolored stones, but we're only dealing with colors here. So what I'm getting at is that however many colors you have in here, that's however many colors you can use. So if you got 4 colors, you can use those 4 colors. This little crazy Jasper here, you see you got white, you got brown, you got red, you got black. All the colors that you find in here, if you want to call this a mega stone, you can. You can say that this stone carries the properties of all those different colors. Just like this malachite piece from earlier. It has the green from the malachite. It has that indigo blue from the azurite, and it has the powder blue from the chrysocolla. Then plus it also has this white quartz on this corner. Um, if you want to go into any other thing, I mean, but at the very least, you got those 4 colors that you could use on that one stone. Multicolored stones, which consist of various colors, such as bloodstone, which is normally green and red. Most of your tourmalines, like this, is just regular tourmaline. It's black with white. But like, say, for example, green tourmaline is green with white. And you do have watermelon tourmaline, which is green, pink, and white. Sometimes it has a little black tourmaline specks in it. So you got 4 colors that can be in a watermelon. Um, They're more complex, as stated, but you just draw on the colors of each. If you only want to use one, only focus in on one of the colors. As long as that color is present, you can amplify that one color. Other color stones, you got stones like, say, let me just read it. For those stones which contain flakes of metal, such as, um, I'm not taking it out of my cage, but lapis lazuli has gold pyrite flakes in it. So it's blue, but it also has little gold flakes on it. So it has the energy from the blue, which in this case is an indigo blue. So this is going to carry the colors of blue and purple, but it also has the gold flakes in it. Gold is the supreme. Gold is the master healer. A lot of people say quartz is a master healer. Okay, it's a master healer. But gold can do damn near anything. When you're dealing with a gold vibration, that is one of the highest vibrations. So don't slip and sleep on gold. Hell, most things in this universe are seeking gold. My experience, a lot of things want gold. So you can pick that vibration of gold, which is a high amplification energy above purple. So you can use it from that. And then you have other multicolor stones such as your aura quartzes. And this was just like originally, say, clear quartz. They got hit with titanium, gold, and platinum in this case. This is a titanium quartz. And as you can see, it pretty much has all colors in it because it's picked up that translucent, that rainbow. So this is a mega piece. They actually do kick off a higher vibration, even this little small piece. If you get a cluster, you can really feel them. But even with this small piece, it is very high vibrational and it picks up all colors to include gold. So it is a beast. So the only thing that I'm going to say more powerful than gold is a rainbow. And that rainbow to include the unseen colors such as gold. Um, hmm. Various shades or combinations of the basic colors listed above, such as lime green or turquoise, they require a little bit additional information. But like I'm saying, if you're going to use a combination stone, then use both colors. This is a K2 stone. It has that cavite in there, that blue, but it also has that granite background, which is basically white with black. So it's a combination stone. Use all the colors. Same thing when you get over here with your silver, or basically this is gray. This is lodestone. You have silver, which is like, say, hematite. Um, you have dragon skin jasper, which is green and red, similar to a bloodstone. So you're going to use this for whatever you want to as far as those two colors. Just don't get bent up on it. It's pretty kind of like self-explanatory. Again, you can use a standard color chart outside of the gemstone world. Again, mental magic. If you find a chart out here, and I think I attached one to the classroom. If you find a chart that has to deal with colors, and one of the attributes for the colors reaches out to you and you find resonance for it, apply it to the gemstone. You're going to be the one giving your intentions to what you want from this gemstone. When you are doing proper intentions, you hold that stone in your hand. Okay, pyrite, I want you to act as an auric shield, and I want you to include the colors of the rainbow. When I do that, me actually talking to this pyrite, if this pyrite ain't gonna do it, it's not gonna acknowledge it as a programming. I will never feel anything from it because I already have an understanding with my stones. Don't tell me that you're gonna do something that you can't do. But when that stone says, okay, let me see if I can do that, when it gets through programming it in accordance with what I'm asking, I'll get a bump, a jolt, or a shock up my arm. Let me know, hey, we ready to go to work. So again, I want you to function as an auric shield, but I want you to include all colors of the rainbow. You can't do it, don't do it. I actually talk to my stones because you have to develop a level of rapport and trust with the stones. Okay, see, this one's good. I just reprogrammed the stone just that quick. Might have to wear this one. I need to keep that one out now. I might need that. So again, that's it. Okay, and then here I did have a chart. Getting back to, like, say, with this gray stone, which was a lodestone. The properties of gray stones generally have to deal with security, reliability, intelligence, and solidity. Um, Gold, wealth, prosperity, valuable, and traditional. Silver, which I didn't have one out here, but silver would be kind of close to that gray anyway. Glamorous, high tech, graceful, sleek, and these are generic terms, but you can apply them towards anything. If I did have a turquoise out here, Turquoise is another master healer, and even by a standard color chart, it speaks towards its spiritual healing capacity, protection, and its sophistication of energy. So don't just get bent up on colors when it comes to looking up gemstone research. Go to what is it? Chromatography, I believe it is. Just anything dealing with colors. Look it up, and you can apply something on the outside to work on the inside. So, what we're going to start doing here probably come Monday for those who are in my class. I made the mistake of leaving this on live, so no coincidence. If you're seeing it, you're seeing it. But what we're going to start doing come Monday is we're going to start applying the colors towards the chakras, and then we're going to start actually doing chakra balancing and laying on stones and working from there. And then we'll start going into using gemstones for ailments, and then into gemstone elixirs. So again, if you got any questions, you know how to contact me. I appreciate you. Peace and holding.